Welcome to Scaling with Heart. If you're tired of carrying the weight of every decision, putting out fires all day, and feeling like your business can't move without you, you're in the right place. I'm Nikki Duncan, founder of SWH Fractionals and creator of the Calm Reset. Here, we talk about what it really takes to create more clarity, less chaos, and sustainable growth. Let's dive in. So I was thinking as you and I have gone back and forth a little bit and we met before and I was thinking about how our paths or the work that we do kind of overlaps and intersects each other. It's funny, I was thinking about one of the things that I know I see when I work with founders, and I'm pretty sure you do too, is growth and scaling and just how fast can we move forward? And it got me thinking, one of my daughters used to ride competitive horseback riding. And her trainers always had this saying, forward fixes everything. Move forward. If that horse wants to buck, move him forward. If he doesn't want to do this, move him forward. If he doesn't want to do, just drive him forward, moving forward, moving forward. Just keep moving forward. It'll fix everything. And that is so true when you're riding 1,000-pound animal. But I don't think a business is always 1,000-pound animal.
Sure. Yeah.
But so often I think founders and leaders just think, just keep pushing. If I just keep pushing
Mhm.
harder, if I just keep moving forward, it's going to fix itself. But I think sometimes that actually adds to the problems or creates new problems. Is that something you see, or is it just my imagination?
No, I mean, absolutely something that I see and something that I think is also, you have to move somewhat forward, but not with the weight of 1,000-pound animal without understanding what's underneath you that you've just sort of like trampled over. So I definitely see that and like how maybe, to use the horse metaphor, we're gonna trot and not gallop and learn to walk and then trot and then gallop a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I like a girl who can pick that metaphor up and run with it.
I'm not a horseback rider, but I know enough about. I like metaphors of all
Yeah.
kinds, so I try to stick with it.
I grew up with them. I find that the horses they give me so many metaphors. Throw raising a child in there with them
Oh,
and you're golden for days and years to come. It's like, well, if my kid didn't teach me a lesson, the horse did, and put the two
mhm.
together, and we have all kinds of extra special fun
Yeah.
lessons to learn.
Well, I mean, then throw entrepreneurship and founders in there, and you're fully set with everything.
Right? Yes. I think I've even done LinkedIn posts that are like, what training a horse taught me about
Mm,
leadership.
for sure. Yeah.
And because there are so many
Mhm.
lessons in there, and that same horse, forward fixes everything. And one of my favorite pictures of her and her horse. And it's funny because it was taken right at the moment that the trainer was standing next to me in the middle of the arena going, push him forward, forward will fix it. She was pushing him forward and he was saying, I do not wish to go forward.
Oh.
And so instead, he decided to go up.
Oh.
And so I have this picture where he is perfectly square. His back legs are square, his front legs are square, and he is perfectly square and he is up, rearing up. And she is just riding that thing.
Did she end up down or she
His
held
hair's
on?
like, it took him 4 or 5 attempts, and he finally got her off.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, I don't wanna. And she's like, yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Then he was like, no. And it was like, okay, you win.
Well, I'm
But
sure there's a business metaphor right there too. We could get.
right. I feel like there is. There are
Yeah.
so many of them. Oh my gosh. And we used to also the same horse, he's a pinto. So he's two colored. He's
Mm.
half eh, part brown, part white. And one of our trainers used to joke around. He used to tell us, he says, you can only train the colored part.
Oh gosh.
The white part is untrainable. So when we would take them to competitions before they would go in the show ring, another trainer and I, we, we would take turns and we would kind of get in his face and we would make eye contact with the horse and we'd put our hands on the side of his face and be like, okay, Jethro, listen, we need the brown horse today. The white one can come play at home.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Whatever. And Alyssa said to me one time, she says, Mom, what are you doing? And she's asked both of us, me and Jackie, she's like, what are you two doing? And we're like, we are setting expectations.
Yes.
Jethro, we need
Yeah.
the brown horse today.
But I mean, again, your metaphor is so good in that, like, think about us raising children, right? And you tell the
Mhm.
child, like, this is what I need you to be for this event that we're at, or in business, like, hey, leave that part of you for something else. Let's pull out this part of what we've
Yes,
trained ourselves on. Yeah.
yes, we can do that over here. But right now we need this one. And I think it's so true in leadership meetings and in staff meetings and team meetings and healthy debates and discussions. And anytime you want any of that, there's a part of us that I think so often so many of us stifle
Hmm.
our opinions, and we need to be free to voice those opinions because otherwise, how do we come up with all the great solutions, right?
Yes.
So I think there's a fine line of, sometimes the white horse, which is the troublemaker, sometimes he's got to come out and play
Hmm.
because that's what makes you stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We can't all be easy and get alongable.
It's so true. I mean, I'm just here like literally my brain is spinning on horses, but again, business and honestly child rearing too. It's just all life. And even before we started
Mhm.
recording, we talked a little bit about just like life and stuff. And so it's very apropos to like what we're talking
Yes.
about. Yeah.
Yes. One of the things I did when I was getting my bachelor's degree, I got to test out of some classes with life experience.
Oh,
And
cool.
so, right. So one of the classes I got to test out of, I mean, it was an elective, so it wasn't any of the core stuff,
Hmm.
but I wrote, it's like a 16-page journal I did two of them. One of them was on parenting
Mm.
and what parenting taught me about leadership,
Yes.
which is so very much. And another one was on training a horse and what training a
Oh.
horse taught me about leadership. When I was 16 years old, I had to break and train a
Oh.
horse. And my trainer at the time said, there he is. There's the arena.
Yep.
Holler if you have a question. And I was 16. What did I know about training? But I figured it out. And that's kind
Yeah.
of, another parallel to business, right? So often we step into something and we're like,
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like our clients, your clients, my clients, like our clients have us when they run into something, they can go to you and say, Mary, I have this problem, getting my product from point A to
Hmm.
point B. You're their subject matter expert that they can tap on the shoulder and bring in for that. And,
Yes.
when I was training that horse, I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I had the trainer in the office that I could go in and tap him. Hey, Bill, I'm running into this problem. Can you come watch me and tell me what to do?
Hmm.
And he would. And, so I learned how to, I think we all have to learn how to work on our own, but tap that subject matter expert,
Absolutely. Yes.
right?
Yes. I mean, I
Yes.
think just to like, forward fixes everything, but you've got to go forward in the right way. And I think
Mhm.
as I was preparing to talk to you today, I was thinking about like, what's like my core thought here of this like leadership and, burnout and just trying to like make sure everyone's the progression of stuff. And it's that expertise. It's like you can't just push forward blindly. Like I know horses do wear blinders of some kind, but really like knowing where your experts are and when and who to tap into, I think is just like the magic of the whole thing
Right.
any of our clients, right? It's just like how do you ask for the right help at the right time, like from the right person, and but still always believing in yourself and pushing yourself forward, but not till again like trampling over stuff that you shouldn't be and then just causing
Right.
more of a mess. Yeah.
You can keep moving forward, but you have to pump the brakes a second.
Yes.
And you have to just slow down, maybe instead of galloping,
Yeah.
maybe we slow down and walk again for a little
hmm
bit and keep
hmm
moving forward, but we've got to walk and reset and think about what is it we're really doing and I know how I approach that with my clients, but I'm curious how you approach it with your clients and when they have come to you and said, okay, here's my challenge. I've got this product and I don't know how to scale it or whatever. How do you get them to slow down
hmm
and identify what to build? What does that process look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts by listening and observing and understanding like what is it that their problem truly is, because what they come to us with isn't always what the root of the problem is. And so in my world, working with, like product-based businesses, often they come to me and they say, I can't stay in stock, right? I'm running out of stock of my best products. Okay, that is a real problem. But when I talk to them, there's something happening before you get out of stock that's causing that. So really, it's about assessing and listening early on to back it up to understanding, is it an inventory problem? Which it of course is, right? There's not enough inventory to sell. But as we continue to back the process up, is it a demand problem, right? Is it a sales problem of like being able to understand what the sales process is, like the demand forecasting process is, so that we can predict what's going to sell as best as possible in what channel and what product. Then we can buy the inventory that aligns to that. Then you won't be out of stock. But through that process, I had to back up. So again, opposite to the horse metaphor, I had to back up in the process to say, where is it broken? To see what your like end result is, and then walking them not only back to what the start of the problem is, then creating a roadmap or some sort of route, right, to go
Mhm.
through as to like, okay, we can't just fix the last thing. You can't just jump seven of these hurdles and end up at the finish line. You've really got to walk, trot, gallop type way. And in real business, I do often say to my clients, like crawl, walk, run.
Right.
And starting with, in my world, it could be a couple of SKUs. Let's say you are, maybe you sell assortment of 100 different things. Well, let's just work on our top five. Let's like really look at this process for our top five, and it feels more approachable, that the brand and the founders can get grounded in the information that we're talking about without feeling overwhelmed on having to do all of it for all of the products in one
Right.
time. Yeah.
It's funny you talk about SKUs. I helped do I helped do a data migration one time for a chain of businesses, and in the beginning, everybody had a point of sale system and they all got to customize it their own way. They could
Oh my
create their
gosh.
own SKUs. They were like, they were required to carry certain items, but they could create their own SKU and completely customize their point of sale system. And then the corporate headquarters came in and said, okay, everybody has to get on the same page across the entire network, all 5,000 stores or some ridiculousness. Everybody's got to get on the same page. We are going to give you a list of SKUs that you are allowed to use, which then we
Mhm.
had to map
Mhm.
previous SKUs to the new SKUs and which ones are we going to replace? Which ones are we going to use? Do we get to keep them? Blah, 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 blah. And I only had to help 112
Of the
business locations do that.
mhm. It's
There, it was a lot. And I had one franchisee business owner. She says, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to do that step. I'm just going to upload the default list from corporate into the system and I'm just going to use whatever comes up. I said, I really don't advise that. And talked about why I don't advise that. And she says that I can't wrap my head around. It's like you're saying, focus on the top five instead of all of them, right?
Hmm.
She just couldn't wrap her head around it. And so against all advice, she
Oh.
activated all of the SKUs.
Oh no.
And do you know what happens to a point of sale system when instead of having 1,000 SKUs to search through, it has 16,000 SKUs to search through?
Not very fast for the
It
customer.
doesn't search. She's like,
Oh.
I can't find this. Sometimes it finds it, sometimes it doesn't. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, you've
Hmm.
given it too much data. You need to, we need to
Yeah.
stop and we need to back up. And, for her, we had to make a list of the SKUs, a manual list of the SKUs because she'd already set up the system. I said,
Hmm.
here's the list. This is what you're going to do. And it'll pull up the right one every time. And now we've got to get to work on the background. And so then we had to go backwards
Hmm.
and
I
and
mean,
start from scratch. It was just like, don't,
it,
just don't.
it's a perfect example of like they tried to go just push forward. And then that's the case where
Uh-huh.
like just pushing forward just caused a mess. And then you
Yes.
spent more time undoing it. And I have been on that receiving end of export of sales data that then says, okay, it looks like there's 5,000 SKUs, but to your point, there's really, about 1,000, but each SKU came in as something different. So I have to manually map them back in order to tell them what their true sales were of that item. And also for the sale, the franchisee or whoever's sitting in the physical store know that like we're tracking that POS to replenish you. So if you tell me that you sold something different than left the store, your inventory counts are going to be wrong. And we're going to send you, the pink one instead of the blue one or item A instead of item B, because, my job specifically relies heavily on data integrity. That
Right.
data needs to come through in a strong way in order for me to make the right decisions for the brand on, keeping them in stock.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. The right decisions for the brand. If you don't know what
Uh-huh.
you have, and if you're just doing all kinds of silly stuff, then you don't know. There's so many things that data does. And we had another business owner that on her P&L statement, every single thing that ever went in as inventory, it was just a cost of goods sold. Okay, but what is your profit margin on
Uh-huh.
this?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your profit margin on this? Well, and then she would look at her sales and go, well, I made this much money. Okay, but you didn't actually make that much money. That's just your income on that profit center, but it's not your actual profit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
getting people to understand those kinds of things, yeah, it's faster to just throw it all in one thing.
Yes.
But that is never going to tell you the health of your business and where your problems might actually live.
Yeah, that goes back to the, like how do I listen to what a brand needs and kind of come up with the solution that I'm going to provide for them in the case of inventory. But it really comes down to a lot of it is visibility and transparency. Like what is it that you're seeing? Are you seeing through that one number of COGS of cost of goods sold to understand what's below? Are you seeing through the demand in total of one item and not understanding what Amazon sells versus what your D2C site sells? And sometimes just bringing that to the surface and not just again moving forward with the blinders and not understanding what you're walking through, but really getting that visibility and transparency is something that I'm super passionate about for our clients and really giving them that ability to look at a P&L or a demand forecast or an inventory replenishment buy and understand why they're buying that much and what's going to happen if scenario A, B, or C happens to
Right.
um,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like your visibility and transparency stuff that you work with is kind of like I created a framework that I use when I work with my clients, and it is to help install a sense of, I call it calm, which is where we classify the chaos, align it with our priorities, limit decision making, and move with rhythm. And
Ooh.
so you doing and all of that is to take a beat and look at what we're doing, look at what we're working with and where Why are things breaking down? Is it breaking down because the system says so? Is it breaking down because of people? Where's the real problem? And then from there, how do those problems that we're facing, how do they align with our priorities? For the business, the
Mhm.
leadership, the operations, different things. And then once we know how they align, then we could stop at that point and start working depending on where we are. But it is exactly what you're talking about. It's all about getting visibility
Mhm.
into what we currently have in our processes and systems.
Mhm.
And how do we look at that and analyze it so that we can move forward in an intentional way that's going to help us actually scale this business.
Yes, absolutely. It's like making the best decision you can with the information you have and that smartest decision. I tell our clients, like, I am not a fortune teller. I do not know what's exactly going to happen with your demand and your supply. But if I can give you that transparency and you understand that we bought this based on a model build of a promotion every month and this new product launching in July, and you understand the assumptions underneath it, then we can also react as the roadmap changes, as we're working down some sort of path towards scaling. It's not like, oh wait, why did that happen? It's because one of the variables we can isolate and say this is different than we expected. So now we can evolve moving forward too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There really are a lot of similarities between us,
Yeah.
Mary. I
Yeah.
didn't think that at first, right? I mean, at first it's easy to go, oh, she's operations, she's supply side, supply chain. They have nothing in common, right?
Yeah.
So much in common.
Hmm.
And I wanted to ask you, I don't want to, and this is kind of a different topic,
Sure.
but I wanted to ask because it's what I do. When I'm going to sit down with someone, I do a little bit of stalking.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Uh,
What's going to come next? Let's see.
right? Who knows, right? You wrote a recommendation for someone on LinkedIn one time,
Sure.
and she was a coach.
Okay.
And you talked about how coaching helped you build confidence, communication skills, emotional intelligence, and I think it was self-awareness, and these things that
Sure.
you need for you to be able
Yeah.
to grow and scale your business, which obviously helps with your clients.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what made you want to stop and take time to do that internal work, why it was so important, and how it helps you moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure I know exactly what that was referencing. Um, and yeah, there's a point where, like, as a mom and female founder of a business that was scaling itself, I needed to take a pause and find my calm, which was very hard to do as I'm scaling the business and really trying to do what's right for my clients and my team. And I realized that everyone was coming to me, and I am the founder and CEO of Boon, but it was becoming increasingly difficult to operate as a human, honestly, in the world. Like, I was doing as best as I could at work in my work life, but I was realizing I was taking hits in other parts of my life, and I was a little nervous it was going to hurt my health, literally, at some point. Like, I
Mhm.
am doing too much, I am putting too much stress on my body, and I am ultimately going to break. So I brought the coach in, realizing probably a little too late, but realizing that I needed to come up with a way to, again, scale the business without like pushing myself down and like squishing myself under like a rock of burdens. Um, so I think the vision I took was to protect myself, but I'm much more of I look to everyone else. I like try to have empathy to everybody else around me. And so it was like trying to make what was best for my clients and my team while knowing that I didn't really have another choice if I was going to continue to scale and have someone from an outside perspective, right? Like look at it and say, you got to stop doing this and like this is what you're doing, right? And like and a mirror, I'm pretty self-aware today. I was a little bit self-aware before the coach, but just understanding who I am, like what's my enneagram, like what is it that makes me tick? And it's okay to honor those things and not try to change the things that you know, weaknesses, if you want to call them that. But like, I'm not the same as every other, mom or founder or businesswoman out there. I have my own skills and really just trying to honor that. And I will say, it's always an evolving situation. It's not like, okay, I did that, check it off, coach is done. But it was a few years ago. And so I feel like I'm continuing to utilize coaching and utilize people to help self-reflection and also on the business expertise side. Then I'm learned to like bring somebody in on the business side to help do that same evaluation of my business so that the business continue to scale without, again, me being a drag on it because I just don't have the time and energy to give 200%. I can only give like 125%.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny because what you're talking about, you were the one carrying you were carrying all the weight, all of the decisions, all of the everything. That is, that is such a major part of the L part of calm in limiting the decisions. And
Mm,
I created a decision ladder at this point, and it could change for different organizations, but as a general rule, at this point, these are the kinds of decisions that stick right here at this rung. So if this is where you're at, you can handle these right now. And
mhm,
as you move up and identifying what decisions actually get escalated. You know,
mhm,
where does the buck stop? And can I do it here? And in my last job, I was the gatekeeper of all. And my mission in life was to keep all of the problems off of my leader's desk. And 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 so that is largely where this leadership, the decision ladder came from, was which decisions can I stop from getting to her? Um, and and then I had to learn how do I stop getting how do I stop those decisions without absolutely taking everything on myself, because that's the other part of it, right?
yes.
Uh, who else can own this? I don't have to own everything.
Uh-huh.
And for a while, I did own everything. If she didn't own it, I owned it. And
Mm,
I had to learn to delegate. I had to learn to trust other people with parts of the work and share that knowledge. And if you're anything like me, that's really hard to do.
mhm.
Uh, because is it really going to get done?
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
I had an interview with a woman one time, and she's the president of a massive company. And it was early in my job search, and she says, you're awesome. You could do so many things. I don't even know where I would use you. And I said, well, what's one of your biggest challenge? What's your biggest challenge facing you right this minute? And she says, well, we've got a big corporate meeting coming up in 4 weeks, and people are coming in from all over the country, and I haven't settled on the venue or where we're going to stay. And I'm like, okay, there's your first thing right there.
Yeah.
She said, but then she said something extremely telling. I would rather work 100 hours a week and know it was done correctly
Ooh.
than trust someone else and have them drop the ball. And I thought, how often as women, especially, do we do that?
Mhm.
I mean, my husband
Mhm.
will carry anything and everything, right? That anybody thought, he'll just let them keep piling on. But as women, it's so much worse. We're the moms, we're the daughters, we're the sisters, we're the, all of the things.
Mhm.
And we just keep taking it on and on and on. And gosh, where does it stop?
It's so hard. It's so hard. And then to feel like you can let somebody else, take it off of your shoulders and give it to somebody else. And I don't know, you can't hope that it gets done. You just have to at some point, otherwise you're going to crush under the weight of
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
You have to trust that whoever you've given it to is going to take it. It's
Yes.
not to say you don't have to be like, how you coming?
How's it going? Yeah.
How you doing over there?
Uh-huh.
Uh, you know,
Uh-huh.
I
Well, I
always
mean, I think
had I always had plans for my plans. My plans had plans and backups. I had backups to my backups to it was like so many redundancies built in. And when I had something that I just, my boss would be like, well, I'm going to say Aaron. It's my husband, and I would never go this way, but let's assign that to Aaron. Do we have to?
yeah.
I mean, like he's a nice guy, but what if he doesn't get it done?
Mm-hmm.
And she finally got through to me and she said, if it doesn't get done, it's on him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. It's on him. And she's the one that taught me how to start asking myself, and now I ask it all the time, what is the worst thing that's going to happen if this doesn't get done?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to break? And what are we going to learn from that break? And maybe we need to let it break
Mm-hmm.
so that people can learn, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all were given chances to learn early in our careers, right? And whatever that looked like in our careers, we learned through doing and experiencing. And I think I do struggle with that too. And I have a very senior team. We don't have a lot of junior people on the team, but it's like, yeah, everyone needs a chance to learn. And we all, even as more senior, veterans of the industry experts, we make mistakes, but it's okay. Like a
Right.
mistake isn't like it's not, there's one thing if you're like, oh, I just didn't do it. It's like, oh, I didn't get to it or I didn't figure it out correctly, quote unquote, because I need to learn that experience. Then you let them try again, right? If they get to
Right.
that point, then you give them the feedback and they try again. If they just drop the ball, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't even start that. That might be a different type of conversation with whoever.
Right. Right. It's like I I think it was within the last year I was introduced to, and I don't know if you've ever heard of her, Carol Dweck.
Mm-mm.
She's big in psychology and she used to study she's done some TED Talks. She's big in
Mm.
psychology and she's got this whole theory of not yet.
Ooh.
And she's talking about, in the TED Talk that I where I first heard her was they've done studies with kids where if you tell a kid you didn't get it wrong, no, 2 plus 2 is not 3, it's 4. You don't know what you're doing or whatever. If you tell a kid no, then they're going to stop trying and you're going to limit them. But
Mm.
if you tell them it's not right yet,
Mm.
you don't have it yet, try again, and you encourage them to try again and learn again until they get it, then it encourages kids and, let's face it, adults. It
Yes.
encourages people to try again. And it's funny, I had a similar conversation with somebody the other day, and she's in a new job and she's just coming off of something not great, so her self-esteem is kind of shaky. She's rebuilding.
Oh.
And she was telling me the other day, she was like, well, they sent me home early from work. And I said, was it just, talking? And there was just something in the way she said, I got sent home. Did you get sent home for good? Did you get sent home for the day? Did you get sent home? Da 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 da. And she says, I just got sent home for the day because apparently when I screw up, I don't handle it well when you're nice to me.
Oh.
And I was like, what? She says, yeah, I messed up, and it wasn't a big mess up. It was a little mess up. She said, I messed up and I expected them to yell at me or be mean to me or belittle me or tell me I was stupid. She says, so that's what I was braced for. And instead they were nice to me. And I legit had a panic attack. And I was
Oh.
like, oh my God, because they were nice to you. And she said, yes. And it's not because she likes it when people are mean to her. It's
No,
just the way she's been conditioned
mhm.
that you can't screw up. It's not safe to make a mistake. And I
Yes.
think that's another thing that we all have to learn as founders, as women, as moms, as,
Mhm.
coaches for whoever we're helping in business, right? And help ourselves. We have to know we're human and there's space to mess up. And, our clients have to have that space and the teams of our clients.
Mhm.
And we
Mhm.
all have to be allowed that grace
Mhm.
to
Yes.
mess it up and mess it up big if you have to. Because sometimes that is when you learn.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
Yes. Yes. Well, let's see, what else do I have? I have a couple of notes.
Yeah, what else did you dig up?
Gosh, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like go creepy stalky. I didn't like hunt you down on all your socials.
No.
I didn't call them moms your kids go to school with. I don't know what size shoes your kids wear. I don't know what kind of shampoo you buy. I guess I'm not that good of a stalker.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get that retail data in on my credit card purchases.
I know, right? Yes. But you do, I think, and I think you've already touched on it a little bit,
Mhm.
maybe in different words, but how often is it when your clients come to you, how often are they reacting to something? And so they're super
Mm.
reactive instead of responsive. I talk to a lot of people who don't even know the difference between reacting and responding. Um, but I just wonder how often you're is it pretty common that you're having to get them to stop, just you're reacting to one thing and we need to stop and
Yeah, I would say it's fairly common that they are reacting to something and they're feeling like almost like, business emotions. It's like a heightened emotion. And they're sort of reaching out. They are waving a flag for help. Um, Boone and what we do is a very niche part of the business, so it's slightly different, and that's where we maybe differ a little bit from like, looking at your whole business, and we are this very microscopic, where we get in the microscope under a certain portion of it. So for them to get to that level, they're usually reacting to something that has happened. Again, what that can look like is I've been out of stock, I cannot stay in stock. Sometimes it has a little more negative connotation like that, or a positive, like, oh my gosh, I just got the confirmation that I'm going to be in Sephora Beauty in 6 months. And that's emotion and reacting to like, what do I do now? Right? So they are coming with us, and then we can solve and hopefully in the second scenario, right? Like prevent other reactions from going out of stock once you're in Sephora versus like, hey, now we're having to fix what was behind, but it's usually is some kind of reacting to an influence on their business. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And that's kind of what I see is it's one big impetus has happened and they're like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, and they go into crisis mode.
hmm
And I mean, my niece was over the other day and my daughter who just moved home, she has ferrets. And my niece was over and she wanted to see the ferrets. So we got them out of the cage, and one of them made a beeline to run up behind the washer and dryer. And my niece
Oh
is like,
no.
"Hey, Nikki, we have a crisis situation." I was like, "Oh my God, oh my gosh." And I went back there and I said, "What's the crisis?" And she says, "Garfield's behind the washer and dryer and he's chewing on something." And I said, "Girl, our definitions of crisis are pretty different." That silly ferret is not my crisis moment.
Yeah.
Um, he did prove to me a few days later that he could make a crisis.
Ooh.
When my husband left for work and left the door open and the ferrets got out.
No.
And the crisis being, I didn't want to deal with my daughter
Yeah.
if they got, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Ooh. They made it home, found their way back. Yeah.
we found the ferrets, and I want and I don't live in a neighborhood, so it's not like they have 200 houses they can hide under. No, I live on 8 acres of open land, and I'm thinking, I hope the hawk didn't eat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh.
I have a picture of her, and I posted it on. We talked about this or before we started about how fun it would be if I could just really be bold and audacious and say what I wanted to, and all the time. I posted the other day a picture of my daughter right after we captured the ferret.
hmm
And she says, "You are not taking a picture of me." I said, "Oh, I am, because I'm going to send it to your father." And he's the one who left the door open. So she's holding the ferret in one hand and the flashlight in the other hand because she's just come out from underneath the house and she's flipping her dad off.
Oh, there you go. There's a bold move. Yeah.
I'm like, that's really funny for a text message to dad, but I'm not posting that on LinkedIn. I'm telling my
Yeah.
story about this on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
I used AI to make her not flip it off.
Oh,
Like,
cute.
let's
Yeah.
fix that middle finger over there, shall we?
Yeah.
She's just like, it was first thing in the morning. That's how she woke
Oh.
up. Was like,
Oh.
her ferrets are outside, and she was like, and she was out the door and through the house. It was really funny.
Oh.
Um, she was not thrilled. And then
Oh.
but there was a hole, and I said, I think they went under the house. And so I'm like, you got to crawl under the house. And she really was not thrilled about
Oh
that.
my gosh.
It's funny, but anyway. Hey, as we wrap up, because I know we are busy ladies and we got things to do. As we wrap up, what is one piece of advice or lesson or something that you want to leave our listeners with? And tell us how people can find you to work with you and Boon.
Sure. Um, I think, an interesting lead into the advice is I've mentioned I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I'm also the mom to 6 children. And when people find that out, there's always a reaction. I've had many reactions to that statement. But one that sticks with me a ton is somebody said to me, like, whoa, you must either be the world's best mom or an amazing leader. And I'd never heard it put that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm not definitely not the world's best mom, but I like find a way to lead even in my home life
Mm-hmm.
in that capacity. And so I think when I think about that and then in terms of advice, I think what I'm good at is believing in myself and like understanding that I can do this. I can take each day, I can take each hour, I can take each week and tackles what's needed, but I ask for help. So that metaphor, like move forward, but like, yes, delegate what you can. It's okay it's not weakness to ask somebody else to help you, whether it's with the kids, the business, the house, something like ask for help. It gets you a lot farther than just trying to force going forward by yourself. So believe in yourself, but ask for good help.
Ask for good help, qualified, solid help. And I bet
Yeah.
if people don't know where to find that help, you and I could help them find it, right?
100% right. Ask someone to ask for help. Like, oh, the amount I tap into somebody else to tell me this is what I need. Who do you
Mm-hmm.
know that fulfills this type of role? I think that's probably how you and I got connected. Someone realized we probably should talk to each other and somebody else
Yep.
connected us, right? So yeah, the world is it reminds me too that the world is nice and kind, even when sometimes it doesn't feel that way always from the news, the evening news. But
Right.
yeah, asking for help is really, really big. So
I think that's a really good lesson to leave them with.
yeah.
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 So what do you
Um,
want us to know about final question about Boon and what you do for your clients, how they can reach out to you, all
yeah.
that stuff?
So, Boon is a consulting agency. We support product-based businesses with a demand forecast and inventory planning, really helping them stay in stock, not overstocked, and ultimately like having the right product at the right time and the right amount. So, all of that fun math behind making sure that your business can scale and you have enough to sell. Female founded, obviously female run. We are heavily focused on our team of moms. So no one on Boon works full time. It's a way to allow a real symbiotic relationship between my team and not wanting to work full time and brands who don't necessarily need full time support but want strong experience support in this one functional area. So we're very passionate about what we do and like the ethos and the mission behind why we do it slightly differently at Boone and compared to just, hiring a merchandise planner for your company. And you can find us on LinkedIn. We're heavily, there posting both on Boone's main page, also my own. You can follow me directly on LinkedIn or website is boone llc.com.
Awesome. I love that. Well, I hope people reach out to you and get help with
Yeah,
their products.
yeah.
Having just touched SKUs, I know a tiny bit about what you do.
Well, that one you
And
touched was pretty
I
sounds
am so
complex.
not the girl for that world.
Yes.
After
Well,
a
you
while, I
can
mean, who the spreadsheets and the eyes
mhm,
crossing, and I'm like, well, I don't even know what I looked at anymore.
send
Uh,
them our way. We will get that visibility, that transparency, help them make the next right decision. Yeah.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Mary, it was so great having you. Thank you for being here.
Thank
And I
you.
hope people really love the show.
Yes. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. If this conversation resonated, share it with someone else who could benefit. That is how this community grows. And if you haven't already, follow or subscribe wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. When you're ready for more clarity and less chaos, go to www.swhfractionals.com and grab the Calm Reset. Until next time, remember, scaling isn't about doing more. It's about creating the capacity to lead what you're building and to do it with heart.